thank you so much for getting us with that. And right now, we'll talk about some of the things that have to do with them, the manufacturers and the manufacturing companies, as these things affect the economy of the land. And so right away, I would get to discuss with John Okoro, my regular guest on this program, and to share with him as he knows concerning what he knows concerning these manufacturing companies and their problems. Do remember that we'll still get a manufacturer via Zoom on this program today. John, welcome and good to have you here again today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning to the viewers out there.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you so much. You heard our story. We talked about the manufacturers and manufacturing, as all that affects the economy of the land. Is there any experience you can relate to concerning this?
Well, I am not a manufacturer anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
You understand. However, you know, being part of what is happening in the country, we can understand that the biggest problem that manufacturers face in Nigeria is the volatile economy and the working environment not being friendly in our system here in the country. I think that is the biggest problem that manufacturers face in this country. And when you talk about the volatility of the system, your mind will go straight to the unavailability of constant power supply. The unavailability of a constant power supply is a very huge problem in terms of manufacturing because you need power to actually run your industries. You know, you need power to do so. But however, because of this problem of power in Nigeria, you see manufacturers now resorting to using diesel and maybe other means to power their industries, to power their machines, to manufacture some of these goods that we use on a daily basis. And you know, the cost of that, we all know that at the time when the price of diesel was just increasing and increasing, at the time it hit almost 2,000 per liter. I know what that means. You know how many liters a company might need to use to at least to run that factory for a day. You know what that means in terms of overhead costs and so on and so forth. So that's a very huge problem that even led to many of these manufacturers leaving Nigeria to other climes where they feel that the conditions are better. Then if you put the power problem aside, then you talk about other things like multiple taxation. You know, at the time, you know, there was this controversy between the federal government and the state government on who has the prerogative to collect VAT, value added tax. And at the time, I think it got ahead in Rivers State, where the then Rivers State governor, barrister Nyesom Wike, had to take the government to court. I don't know how that matter actually ended, whether it is still ongoing. But the fact remains that the biggest problem that manufacturers have been complaining about over the years has always been the issue of multiple taxation, paying things, apart from the statutory taxes that are supposed to pay, then other taxes come. You see some taxes from the federal government, some come from the state government, some come from the local government where they are domiciled. And at the time, in fact, at the moment, I heard a manufacturer saying that they pay over 20 taxes, more than 20 taxes, you know, to authorities. And you know what that means, because, you know, so that would definitely eat deep into their profit.
Yes.
And nobody, no business person will want to continue in an environment where you don't make profit.
Yes.
So you better close shop and then go look for something else than to continue struggling in an environment where you cannot profit. So that is the situation we have in the country.
That is why some multinationals left Nigeria, and they left in droves, my brother. They left in droves. They just left the country, and some of them went to Ghana, some went to other countries around. to continue because they needed to have their presence in Africa. Not just that they didn't want to be around, but the harsh economic situations in Nigeria drove them away from the country. I also gathered that even innocent manufacturers, that's the manufacturers of the innocent vehicles, that as a result of this problem also had to move from here to Ghana to start producing their vehicles in Ghana.
Confirmed?
Yes, yes.
In the realm of rumor?
No, to start producing their vehicles in Ghana.
Okay.
But of course, being a Nigerian, he still has that large factory that is in Nigeria, still in existence. He couldn't shut it down because, I mean, if you leave home, where else would you go? That's why he is still doing that. But the free flow of everything outside the country has made it that that company, as one, is there. And there are so many other, as I said, the multinationals, people that came from other countries, the way they are doing things and what they are doing today, it has led to many of them leaving the country. I remember, the one that really pained me was when I saw that Procter & Gamble was to leave, you know, because that company was a company that produced some of these basic things that every home needed. But all the same, we thank God for people like what do you call it now? Dangote factory. Dangote's, people like Dangote's who are doing a lot still in the country, not minding what has been going on. They've been giving us a lot of their products in the market. And there is this other one, the one that produces tomatoes, that was once in the news, not for a good reason, but at least they have been doing a lot. Erisco, they've been giving us products. And so many of all these companies, Nigerian companies, still working and not minding or notwithstanding the ugly situation that has to do with the economy, they are still afloat. We pray that they will continue and that the government will do something about it and to help get things done. Just recently, Johnny, it's in the news right now that IOCs are frustrating rollout of petrol. And that is what Dangote refinery has reported. You see, sometimes, I think it was 2 weeks ago or something like that, we mentioned that Dangote was shouting that the cabal is affecting the production. And now that we have it, in actual fact, it was on the Nation newspaper. The headline there was that IOC is frustrating rollout of petrol, says Dangote refinery. You see, you find out that it's a difficult thing, that someone that is trying to rescue Nigeria is being prevented by just a few people trying to make it difficult for him. We hear that they've even given licenses to some others to go ahead and import so as to make it difficult for the company that is the indigenous to produce their thing. It's quite a pity because it is not just so good for us to have such a thing happen in our own land. That is the accusation that came from the Dangote factory. Again, we found it in the front page of Punch newspapers, where they also wrote, Dangote alleges IOC's frustrating refinery. So it's a serious matter, a trending matter that is happening all over. What can we do? How can this happen? The people in authority are the ones that are being asked, what can you do to make things better for even the indigenous companies that are manufacturing things in our country? Even still in front of that Punch, above the masthead, there is something else that is there, where it says Nigerians borrow 3.9 trillion as economic crisis hits harder. Oh, this borrowing is affecting our people. And I keep asking, even the one that government borrows, how would it be paid? You know, we keep hearing of debt servicing, not even that they are paying, they are servicing the debt. When would we start paying? Still there in front of that Punch newspaper, still above the masthead. Up there, we still have food price hike, worry operators amid 1.2 trillion naira agric budget. So there are so many things that have to do with this that we'll think about. I don't know.
Yeah, on the issue of Dangote and what I think what is senior manager in the company actually issued a statement, and the foundation of the problem is this. As a refinery, you're talking about more than the Dangote oil refinery and petrochemicals. You're talking about over 600,000 barrels per day capacity.
Yes.
But now it's a year now that the factory was actually inaugurated, and everyone has been expecting that they will soon start lifting fuel, PMS, from that refinery to ease the pressure on Nigerians in terms of the pump price, because it is assumed that as soon as Dangote enters the market with its supply of fuel, that naturally it will bring down the price of fuel. However, all we've been hearing has been that Dangote has only been producing diesel simply because the company cannot have access to crude oil. So we are just getting to hear now from them the reason for that, which they allege from the international oil companies, the IOCs, that the ones trying to cause the block the supply, because even besides Dangote, even the modular refineries again that we have in the country, because the modular refineries are supposed to even come in to also assist in boosting domestic supply of fuel in the country, PMS. But even there too, they have been complaining about the issue of not having access to crude oil supply. So Dangote is actually looking at importing crude oil if the situation continues where they will not have access to crude oil, the local crude oil supply in Nigeria, that they might even resort to importing crude oil from the United States of America, from the US. I know, and once that happens, what it means that we are still going to go back to where we are now, because when Dangote imports, definitely they're going to factor the cost of transportation and everything to the pump price that are going to put out there in the market. So I don't know why it looks to me like there is an oil cartel, start in the country, not cartel like in like OPEC, but I'm talking about a mafia-like kind of cartel in the country who are actually bent on making sure that Nigerians continue to suffer, because it is so abnormal. It is bizarre that a nation that is amongst the 10 top net producers of fuel, of oil, crude oil in the world. Usually, like somebody, which was a song says, in the abundance of water. Yes. Is Bob Marley right? Yes. In the abundance of water. There is something that is happening. Then someone is thirsty. You understand? So also here, we hear our own native saying that, so how can somebody, be inside the river and the soap will be in the eye. The foam of the soap is entering your eyes and biting you. And you are inside the water. So that is the situation we have. It's bizarre. Well, we'll just keep it at this. We'll still continue. But let's find out. We'll take a break and then we'll return to find out whether we'll be able to reach out guests that will come from, that will be with us via Zoom. But in the absence of that, we'll return and continue, because we still have something to talk about textile industry and all that. But right now, a break, please.
The black comedian of the Federal Republic. I tell you, when it comes to the best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that is educative, you're right here at the best place to see that. It's KAFTAN TV. You know what? Increase the volume. Keep watching. Don't touch the dial, okay?
It's your girl Nkechi Blessing Sunday. I want you all to keep watching KAFTAN TV.
Please keep watching KAFTAN TV. It is the best TV station in the country. They're doing an amazing job. Please do not touch the dial. Keep watching. Thank you.
My name is Sheilo BCFR, the black comedian of the Federal Republic. I tell you, when it comes to the best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that is educative, you're right here at the best place to see that. It's KAFTAN TV. you know what? Increase the volume. Keep watching. Don't touch the dial, okay?
It's your girl Nkechi Blessing Sunday. I want you all to keep watching KAFTAN TV.
Please keep watching KAFTAN TV. It is the best civil station in the country. They're doing an amazing job. Please do not touch the dial.
Welcome back. We'll still try to link up for that Zoom, but while that one is going on, let's look at what we find in the topic, but then it is on the front page of Vanguard. So we're going to go from there to talk about it. And this time, it has to do with the textile industry. It says, textile industry faces total collapse as revival efforts fail. This is still part of what we're saying in the manufacturing industry. This textile industry is a manufacturing industry, the garment manufacturing industry, if you want to say it that way. And there have been efforts made before now by the government to revive all the textile industries we have in the country. And now we're just getting to hear that efforts to revive them have failed or collapsed. Well, I don't know which one we're going to use. What do we say about because this is part of the things we need to do in this country to get our economy standing the way it ought to. If not, if we need to import everything, how can this economy grow? If we import everything we need in this country, look at even the textile industry, which we had the hope that it will start soon to rise the way it ought to. Oh, all the people that do their ashebi, that's according to the Yorubas, the uniform, and those ones who manufacture all these things, most of them, they get to have these uniforms, take to the textile industry, and they will just do something for them. But now, it's not there. Where are we heading to, John?
You know, the collapse of the textile industry, you know, has been, coming, gradually over the years, and and every time people talked about it, with nostalgia, remembering how the textile industry used to be the biggest employer of labor in this country in the past, in the good old days.
Yeah, good old days.
And when we look at it, you wonder why it should be so. Rather than even getting better, these industries are collapsing. In fact, we still have some industries, textile industries, that are still standing, but we should actually do better. Because talk about the raw materials, talk about everything, they are here. And in those days too, you remember the Kaduna textile, the Asaba textile, the General Cotton Mill in Onitsha. They were big industries. And you know what that means? If you look at it, because if a factory closes down, the consequences will only be that some people are going to be jobless.
Of course, yes.
And once people become jobless, the more, then it increases the unemployment rate. And I know the pressure also, because those who don't have a job, maybe they are going to be dependent on someone else to survive.
And the ones that have depended on them all the while,
that will now also fall by the wayside. And so you could see it's a chain reaction of events. In terms, but just like talking about the general, the manufacturing sector in general, you see the textile industry actually falls within this. And look at a time when there is this resurgence of interest in local fashion in Nigeria, because anyway, even apart from even Nigerians who reside here in the country who have shown serious interest in the use of our local fashion, then Nigerians too who live in the diaspora are also key in. In fact, I have key in so much now that you can hardly see a Nigerian person who lives in the diaspora who attend either a social gathering anytime, or it is in Europe, in America, without adorning the Nigerian fashion. So this is the time that the textile industry in this country should be at its optimum, at the highest level. So I don't know what it is that has to be done, because again, just like the Dangote refinery complained just recently, whether there's also another cabal within that industry, especially those who are importing these fabrics from China, whether they are also the ones who are also fighting, working from behind to make sure that the textile industry in Nigeria or the industries don't stand, and so that we can depend fully on importation of fabrics and materials from all over the world, especially from China. Because even the Ankara, our Ankara, which is supposed to be, a kind of a Nigerian prerogative, is also being manufactured in China. Ankara, our local fabric, Ankara, is now being manufactured in China. So a lot needs to be done to really revive these industries so that the economy, we have the capacity to get these things working. I think there is a lethargy somewhere. There's a lethargy somewhere in terms of policy, the kind of right policies that should drive the economy of this country. There's a lethargy. I don't know why the lethargy is there. I don't know whether because some of the policymakers are actually very, very, very comfortable, or they are in their comfort zones, and because they are comfortable, they don't see or they don't seem to understand what should be done. Because we feel at the end of the day, we will still have to blame leadership, in all this.
This talk about leadership leads me to what we find in Business Day newspaper. And in the Business Day, it says that the major headline says 200 Nigerian politicians, security officers own $1 billion Dubai properties. $1 billion Dubai properties. These are Nigerian politicians and security officers. And we are talking about getting to have our economy better. And they are owning $1 billion Dubai properties. So they have paid and they own these properties in Dubai. Well, they are the ones you will say that are preparing for Nigeria's downfall, so that when it happens, they will relocate to Dubai. And owning these things, it is our money that was transported, that was transferred, to that country for this. That is via foreign exchange. And so as we exchange, a lot of money goes out and almost nothing comes in. And so our money keeps going down. Is that not the story? Now, what do we do? You see, we need to really plan to see how monies that are being exported from this country will be trapped down so that we'll be able to have more of the ones coming in, because more of the foreign currencies coming into Nigeria would help lift the value of our own money. But it seems to be the other way around, that we are having it in our country. Yet this country is a place where we're shouting, we're having hues and cries concerning the economy on a constant note, and promises, whether fake or real, of something to be done to make it happen. Do we see a headway from these things we are looking at? Is there any headway for our economy to be made better, even in the nearest future?
It is about policy. Every or any serious country where you have people in leadership who are visionary enough to plan, to project, and to plan for the future, and also to think ahead, to have that vision, to create scenarios, in order to come out with the right plans to move the country forward. We are looking for leaders like that. Leaders who are visionary, leaders who are able to have the projection, leaders who are able to create a scenario situation whereby you could say, okay, in the next 5 years, we are going to be having more people, and there's a need for us to plan for population explosion, to plan for so many things, coming ahead in the future. But when we have leaders who are just concerned about what they can get from Nigeria today, and then use this to create generational wealth that them and their families will not finish almost till whenever. So it's going to lead to a point whereby the nation's value system, the treasury and everything will continue to deplete, and the ordinary people will continue to just complain and complain and complain. Why they continue to complain? Those who have access to leadership, those who walk through and through the corridors of power, will continue to just live well, do all they want to do, live big, and then the country continues to go down. Because I don't understand why such a nation like ours, that has all the potentials, especially in being one of the best economies around the world, to improve the living standard of its citizens, that we can't just do so. We can't just do so. We just continue to crop in the dark all the time. So it's something that is, painful, worrisome. But we believe as Nigerians, we have never given up hope. We believe that, and we pray a lot that our prayers will one day be answered, whereby the kind of leaders who actually move this country forward, we have their way into the realms of power. But as it is today, honestly speaking, as it is today, the leadership that we have in this country today at every level, whether it's at the local government level, at the state level, or even at the federal level, they are not ready. Okay. They are not ready to really get us out of the woods.
We'll be rounding off our stay today, so I want to tender apologies for the fact that we'll not be able to get that link via Zoom today, but then we'll be sure to have it on Wednesday. What is more, we have a limited time now. We won't be going for that any longer. But then let's end on a cheerful note for a while. I just pray it will continue. And this is what I found at the front page of Blueprint newspapers. It says, the major headlines: commercial gold boosts Nigeria's foreign reserves by $5 million US, injects 6 billion naira into economy. I will take that. Commercial gold boosts Nigeria's foreign reserves by $5 million US, injects 6 billion naira into economy. Well, that is what we heard from Alake as he presents gold bars to our President Tinubu. That's what we have in the picture there, gold bars. Well, it has injected 6 billion into the economy. So many things are taking trillions from the economy. I pray that even as this commercial gold has injected 6 billion, those forces removing our money, depleting our money by trillions, would let it be, so that we will have something to make the economy breathe for a while. It's not just only saying let workers breathe, let the black breathe, let poor men breathe. Let the economy breathe, because all these are affecting the life of that economy that we have. And so that's how we want to say that we'll be letting it to be at a time like this. But do you feel it's a cheering news? You talk about gold bars boosting Nigeria's economy.
It is futuristic. It's not actually happening now. It's something that is the solid mineral sector, which gold is part of, has the potentials. Because it's not as if these things are actually happening now, because based on illegal and artisanal mining, a lot has been taken out of this country by some foreign people who are also colluding with some local authorities to take away all these minerals almost for free, and the country gets nothing out of it. So what the Minister of Solid Mineral, Alake, is actually trying to convince the president is that if there's a lot of investment in this sector, that's why they have to, this gold bar that you see, we are actually manufactured or mined from somewhere across the country, and then they were refined. They were actually refined here in this country. So he is trying to let the president know that if we do the right things within this sector, that this particular gold bar and the rest of them, they have the potential to actually boost the economy and also the foreign reserve. Because by the time you have this, it comes in exchange. Because even some countries like the US, when they talk about their foreign reserve, they're also referring to the gold reserve that they have in the country. Yes. You understand? Which could be, changed into hard currency or other equities, as it may, and the rest of them. You understand? So that's exactly what is happening, because every time we keep on talking about our foreign reserve is depleting, but if you have enough gold reserve, so that gold reserve could actually be turned into rebooster for the foreign reserve of this country, that can run into billions of dollars as well. So it's a good one, but in every sector, you have these cabals. So with the cabals who have been supporting illegal mining, both those, the local ones and the foreign collaborators, would they allow this policy to actually take place?
Will they allow these policies to actually take place? That's a question we'll try to find answers to. We'll get out there to look for those people, as many as we can find, to tell us more about this. We'll go to not only Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, we'll go to so many other bodies that can help us get answers to these problems and solutions. Let's get solutions to the problems. Well, it's on that note that we'll say it's been good sharing the moments with you on the program today, but do give us that grace of returning on Wednesday so as to hear more on this manufacturing as it affects the economy, as it affects the manufacturing sector in Nigeria. We will take that for the rest of this week, and some other bits we will get across to you, and then we'll continue again with others. Right now, this is where we are. What can we do to make the economy of the land better than as it has been all the while? Thank you one more time, my dear colleague, John Okoro.
Thank you very much.
Being here, and from your rich reserve of wisdom concerning this, we have tapped again today.
Thank you very much.
We will still continue.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okechukwu here saying, do please keep watching us and keep being part of us, and don't forget that most of the time here we want to bring you business news, business newspapers. We want to bring you reviews and some other information through our discussion segment to ensure that the economy is well covered and handled so as to help in every way. One more time I say, have a great day. Okechukwu saying, bye for now.